Welcome everyone, Mark here from Mark's Travel Time. Let me get this camera adjusted just a little bit. There we are. We are live. I think we're live. I'm going to go online and make sure. I just got out of the online meeting with Tryp, and I wanted to share a little of that information with you. I also have a couple of quick questions about how you're adapting. You know what I'm going to do here? I have to adjust this a little bit because my camera's tilting and I'm not real happy about that. Let's see if I can get that to straighten out a little bit. It's a little better. Not terribly good. All right, who's joining us today? Who's here? Who's in the room with us? I did want to talk about Tryp. I took some notes. Tryp had, I put in the title, My Meeting with Tryp. That's a little bit misleading because hey Richard, because it really wasn't a one-on-one meeting. I merely joined their online, and I wanted to share some of the things that I took away from that. We haven't talked about Tryp in a long time, so I just thought it would be fun to bring you up to date. Now, I don't know, it doesn't seem like a whole lot of people are going to these Tryp meetings. The reason being there wasn't a whole lot of chat going on, which was good. I joined it kind of late, but I was able to ask questions and I was able to get my questions answered. So in that regard, I thought it was pretty interesting. The other thing we're going to do in this video is I have questions. I just have a little list of really quick questions that I'd like to run by everybody. As always, I never know how long these things go. I always think they're going to go 10 minutes and they end up going 70. So I'm just going to boom, put it out there, what I have for you. And then those of you who are watching later, when we hit the 8 or 10 minute mark, you don't have to hang around if you don't want to. I always enjoy having you here, but I know, your time is precious. So here are a couple of quick things. I'm not going to do a lot of commentary. I'm going to lay it out there. And then for those of you who are in the room, we can have comments. I know it's a little later than usual for a live stream, but I just got out of the other one, so I wanted to share this with you. Okay, we had a couple people. They had 3 people from Tryp. I didn't get one of the names. One guy was a younger guy. He had a young toddler with him because they were all from their homes, of course. The other was Bill Crosby. I didn't get what Bill's title was. And Bob McNulty, of course, who is the big cheese at Tryp. The information as I saw it was just a little vague. The app is coming along fine. Someone asked, how's the app? The app is coming along fine. Take it for what it's worth. They don't know when the markets will open. And this is a quote as good as I could get it. And this came from Crosby, I believe. No, I'm sorry, this came from McNulty. Everything's moving along. It'll either be New York or Miami. I don't know which will be first. And then Bob McNulty told a story about Sam Walton, said when he, Sam Walton of Walmart, he was comparing himself to Sam Walton and said, when Sam Walton made an announcement, if we met a certain goal, he would dance the hula on Wall Street. And so McNulty said that when they open in New York or Miami, he's going to dance the hula in New York or Miami. I did press them a little bit, and they did say that I asked them, what do you want my viewers to know? Just tell me what is your main message. 100% of ride fares go to the driver and a much better rate. Simple as that is the way they said it. So I asked them, well, if you get 100% of fares, how are you going to make money? And they said there's a subscription fee paid by the driver. So they're still going with that subscription fee. I wasn't able to get what exactly a subscription fee was, but I'm going, it's been a while since we talked about Tryp. I don't know if things have changed or not, but I'm going to follow up. I got, the email to follow up. And then they said they do have a booking fee. So that I know was always a, one of those points with drivers. Oh, wait a minute. If they have a booking fee, are we really getting 100% of the fare? tomato, tomato. I don't know. They have their booking fee and whatever on top of there apparently goes to the driver. And another point they thought was important, all the money is local. It stays in the local community. I don't know how they know that. They have to have a headquarters somewhere, I would assume, and they have to make that money. So how that's staying local, I don't quite understand, but that's one of their sales points. And no surge pricing. They said that's good for the driver. I don't know if that's good for the driver or not. It seems to me when we get into a surge, we get paid more. All right? You guys are doing a great job of just letting me babble, but anytime you have a question, jump in. And I asked them, what about influencers? Is influencers, is that going to continue? And they said, oh no, we haven't had influencers since September. I knew they stopped it, but I just wanted to get confirmation it's not going to be rearing its ugly head once again. And they said no influencers. So those are the things that I walked away with from the Tryp meeting that just ended, I don't know, 10 minutes ago from the time that we're making this video. On to bigger and better things. I want to now open this up to drivers. We're at the 6-minute mark, so I'm going to hit 10, and then I'm going to open it up for everybody. I want to know, with everything closing, and restaurants are not open. They're just open for carry out and deliveries, and stores are closed. I mean, some grocery stores and things are open, but a lot of things are closed. So I want to know, how are drivers, what restrooms are you using? I really want to know that. I have been doing deliveries. I've been doing a lot more than I anticipated I would, but I don't need a restroom. If I need to, I guess I've never had to, but if I would, I'd probably just stop at home and use the restroom and go back out on the road again. Curious how you're using the restrooms if you're out driving for a day. As an extension of that, are you still carrying passengers? I'd like to kind of know, how many of you have stopped passengers all day? I haven't driven a passenger in a long time. Or are you just delivering food? If you are delivering food, I'm kind of curious, are you taking additional precautions with food delivery? And if so, what are they? Are you wearing gloves? Are you changing them regularly? A face mask, we're going to talk about face masks in a minute. I'm kind of curious as to what you're doing with that. Are you signing up to drive with other apps? And finally, are you going to kill yourself? Okay, that last one was kind of nasty. But I'm kind of curious, what kind of emotional toll is it taking on you? Okay, so having said all that, let's see what you have to say. We got Uber refuses to give my tax record. I told them I will file criminal complaint unless they give me my tax info. See, that technically, they're probably claiming, hey, you're not an employee. That's going to be my guess. Trader Ben's hasn't driven in 3 weeks. So that was about when you said that you were filing for unemployment, right? I remember you weren't in the room, but we talked about you in one of my live streams. Uber is not giving out their tax info. Yeah, I suspect that's why they're doing it. Hey, Rick, how you doing, my friend? Talk about breaking news of Instacart changing the tip to 0 after the shopper had delivered the items. It's on CNN. Well, one time did that happen? Or did it happen? Is it something that's repeating? I'll have to go and look for that story. I haven't seen it. I mean, it's been a really busy day for me today. I apologize for I know I don't sip quite this often, but I had pizza for supper and it was kind of salty. Now I'm real thirsty. Hey, Mark, I'm gonna take a shot for you. Happy lockdown. Thank you, Augustine. I appreciate that. I'm just drinking plain old water, not even an olive today. I checked into the unemployment webpage today, and it stated somewhere after the 10th I should start getting unemployment. Has anyone gotten any money from anybody? I know we did have one person in my last chat that said, yeah, they're coming off of their 14 days. They did get some money from Uber. Government checks. I haven't heard of anybody actually getting a government check yet. I know I haven't gotten one. So how's that going for you? Has anybody actually been getting money? What else? Last I drove was March 9th. So that's a month ago. That's 4 weeks. Today is the 9th of April, so that is exactly 1 month that you have not been driving. So what are you doing, if you don't mind my asking, to compensate for that income? If you're not driving, it means you're not getting the ride share money. Have you found something else to do? Hey Dave, it is going really well. I pounded this stuff out. We are now at the 10 and a half minute mark. So anybody who wanted to find out what I was going to talk about, you now have the lowdown on Tryp. You have my 6 questions. Leave your comments down below and share your answers. From here on out, this is just going to be, people leaning across the fence in the backyard and chatting a little bit. How are you getting paid for being home? I heard next Monday and Tuesday will be the first direct deposits for government subsidies. We'll see. I hope you're right. I've not been driving often, but I still carry passengers. I have hand sanitizer in front and back and a bottle of isopropyl alcohol. The inside gets wiped after every ride. Mark, isn't American history interesting? I love history. I try not to talk too much about it here, but you probably know when I get on when I get rolling sometimes, and especially when I'm visiting different places, I do. I have a really deep interest in history. So, you work at a school. Well, I'm assuming the school's closed then. So, are you working at home? Or are you just sitting at home and on the taxpayer dole? Okay. My sewer line collapsed. Oh no. Oh no. I have $5,000 left over. I also had a job lined up. Job offer was rescinded. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. I quit 5 months ago because I changed my phone number. After that, they refused to let me change my number. I can't access my account. Oh, so that's what's going on. So you can't get in your account because it's linked to a phone number. You change your phone number and now they won't give you access. Wow. That is a strange one. Is Tryp is still flickering the lights. I thought maybe they're dead. They're claiming they're going to open up in either New York, Miami. They keep saying this. Remember, it was a long time ago. It was almost a year ago when they said they were launching in Miami. Remember, they drove around the block and so many Uber tubers were on board. Do you remember that? I don't know. It was kind of strange because I went in the room and my ID shows up as Mark Hintz, going back to the UberHints days, as Mark Hintz. And when I introduced myself, I said I have the YouTube channel, Mark's Travel Time, and I must still be on their radar because one of them, it kind of slipped out and they referred to me as UberHints. So apparently they still know me over there. I know I was kind of thorn in the side of Taha, but I got to give him a call. Do you know anyone with coronavirus? No, sir. Actually, I take that back. I probably do, but I'm not aware of it. I suspect a lot more people have it than are known. Because so many people that do find out they get it, for whatever reason, they're tested and they found out, oh, it just felt like a cold, or I thought I had the flu. So there's a good chance I had it. I don't know, and I'm not saying that to be dramatic. I'm just saying with all my travel and the places I've been, I wouldn't doubt it. But no, I don't. I don't know anybody for sure. They'll give me $1,000 in good faith and say I'm tops in the hiring pool. Uber has always been in a side hustle. Yeah, I think, Hugo, it's been like that for a lot of us. Trader says, I don't have any income right now, but I always plan ahead, pay my bills, have a little tucked away for situations like this. Hopefully people in the future will start saving some money. Hey, I'm on board with you with that. I'm very fortunate. I know a lot of people joke, oh, Mark, you're rich. And, no, I'm a regular, old, average, middle-class Joe. But I worked hard. I paid off my house. I paid off my cars. I don't have any debt. I have zero debt. And makes it easier in times like this. I still have to pay, my insurance on my home. I still have to pay my taxes. I still have to, put food on the table, but pay utility bills. But that's a lot easier when you don't have a house payment or a car payment, or a cow payment for that matter. I'm here in Wisconsin. I'm not paying for my cow. Why pay for the cow when I can get the milk at the grocery store? I don't know why I said that. All right. I did buy a 2010 Lincoln Town Car. It uses flex fuel, amazing car. Now I need a job. You know what? I kind of miss the old cars. I would like a big old 1975 Cadillac. You know, those cars were so big and so wide, and the rides were unbelievable. I know they're not as dependable as cars now, but I'll tell you, they were so big and such a wide wheelbase and everything, such a long wheelbase. They were really comfortable cars. My school district is paying all the teachers ever since the district was closed down. Well, I hope that they're still teaching the kids from home. I applied for the SBA $10,000 grant and got no response yet. That's how all who applied are the same way. Good idea, keep trying. I also applied for SBA 10 grand loan. I haven't heard anything back yet. Did I miss your meeting with Tryp? I called it a meeting because that was the easiest way I could say it in the title. It wasn't really a meeting. They had an open forum, but I don't think too many people were there because I asked a handful of questions and every single one of my questions got answered. There weren't that many other people asking questions. So they're just saying, yeah, it's going, real vague comments. It's going well. They're going to launch in New York and Miami. They don't know when. They don't know which one first. They're going to pay drivers 100% of fares, not including a booking fee, and it's going to be a subscription service. That's it in a nutshell. So basically, nothing new than we knew 4 months ago, 5 months ago, 6 months ago, whatever it was. Oh, and they are no longer using influencers. We knew that from September as well. Right now, you have the Budweiser virus, so Corona wasn't good enough for you, huh? You had to go down into the gutter and get some Bud. Mark, isn't that crazy how James Hamilton died? Yeah, but you do realize that he wasn't Hispanic, right? It seems these days that all anybody knows that from is the Broadway show, right? Okay. 44 pounds of steel versus my old car, 2015 Ford Fiesta. Flex fuel costs half, which is great. The town car uses a limo in the past, so I don't think I can ride share. I don't know. It seems like it would be the perfect ride share car. Try it and see. That's all I can. If you have an account already, I would just add that as another car and see what they say. 2010. It's getting, yeah, I don't know. It's not getting that old. They were having cars going back to 02 and 03 as recently as a few years ago. Tryp will be sued. I'm glad Taha left. How was your meeting with Tryp, and when do you think it'll be in our states? I don't think anytime soon. I asked them if the only question they ignored or didn't see was, I said, well, I downloaded the app. Obviously, it doesn't work right now. Will it work when I travel? And it went unanswered. I did not ask why Taha quit, mainly because I knew what the answer would be. The answer would be, we cannot discuss personnel issues. That would be the answer. So why? You know, there's an old saying, never ask a question that you don't know the answer to, or at least you don't know the type of answer you want. I knew the answer to that one, so why ask it? Unless, of course, I just wanted to get it on record, and that wasn't worth getting on record. I applied for disaster assistance. This is why I always pay yourself before you pay others. I had a friend, he's still a friend of mine, he's an older guy, he's in his 80s, and he always used to say, pay yourself first. He always said that, you know, take this much and put it in a bank account and pay your bills and do this and set this away and put this in your 401k, whatever. He always said that, pay yourself first before you spend any of the money. Those Cadillacs are telescoping steering wheels. I'm a bigger guy, and I love that. Well, then you want it to telescope away from you, right? You know, I'm no Slim Jim myself. Hey, Mark, what happened to Tesla rideshare in San Diego? That is a good question, my friend. I've not heard a word for a week, but before they said they're going to start ride sharing. I heard that too, and I'm not in San Diego, so I don't have, my ear to the ground there. There is, the San Diego rideshare driver. Um, got an interesting channel, hardly any viewers. Might be worth checking out. He's got long silver hair and a white beard, and interesting guy. Videos are real short. His videos are like 2 or 3 minutes long. Maybe he would know him. Maybe I'll ask him. I really depend on the grant to keep afloat until things become normal. Any suggestion on the application process? I've never done it. I wish I could help you out, but I didn't have to do it. It went unanswered, just like my Uber tubers who ask, when is Tryp launching? Okay, I'm going to say this. I'm only going to say it once. But I believe, with a few exceptions, I'm one of the few Uber tubers that answers every single question. I block nobody. And I block trolls, okay? But I block nobody for disagreeing with me, and I will be very straightforward with every single question that's ever put to me, as long as it's relevant. I'm not going to tell you how much money I make. I'm not going to give you my address. I'm not going to do that type of stuff. All right. What do you think about President Andrew Jackson having tools in the White House lawn? We're getting a little off subject, aren't we? Did you vote? I did. I voted a long time ago. I voted absentee because I didn't know coronavirus was going to be a thing. And I travel so much that at the beginning of the year, I always apply for the absentee, so I get the ballot automatically sent to my house. So I'm a little concerned that this year maybe my vote isn't going to count. There's a lot of shenanigans, hijinks, tomfoolery going on right now in many places. My state is no different. I know I don't want to talk politics, but I think my governor's on a power trip, quite frankly. Mark, I apply for unemployment by Monday because this rideshare job at the moment is dangerous. Maybe. Here's the funny thing. People are wearing all these masks now, right? And I don't get it, because the masks are not to protect us. They're to protect other people from us. It's so when I talk, when I cough, when I sneeze, I'm not propelling all of that spittle and particulates, right? But the virus itself is small enough it can get through the weave of most masks. And this isn't me saying this. Look it up. It's sort of like taking a strainer and then pouring a bunch of sand into it and say, I have this strainer to carry sand, while the sand is going right through it. That's kind of what that mask is like for the coronavirus. So unless you're afraid that you have the virus and you don't want to give it to somebody else, why wear the mask? That's all it's really good for, is to help prevent you from giving it to someone else. And if you think you have the virus and you're going to give it to somebody else, for God's sake, stay inside. What are you doing walking around with a mask on your face? Okay, the other thing, those masks are supposed to be used once, then they're contaminated, right? See, people do this either, number one, it's a feel-good measure, number two, they want to say, look at me, I'm better than you because I'm wearing a mask and you're not. Those are the only two reasons I can think people are wearing it. Either that or they're just ignorant of the facts. Look up the facts. I'm not making this stuff up. I'm telling you what I hear, what I read, what I research. So there you go, people. Aren't you sorry that you asked me about safety? I know you didn't ask me about safety. I just jumped on it in one of my rant, didn't I? You by accident put me in the corner once. I had to wait 15 minutes. I didn't do it. I didn't do that. I didn't put you in the corner. One of my moderators did. I've been doing DoorDash and Eats only. It hasn't been bad, and everybody is contactless now. Yeah, they are. You don't have to be. You can still hand it off and get that tip. Dave, are you leaving? We had mail and ballots for Colorado for years. There are no polls. Yeah, but Mark, I'm talking about all of us who wonder Tryp is going to launch because you asked Tryp a question. You told us they ignored it when it comes to launching. Tryp are crickets. I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant, JP. Uh-oh, Mark. Rent a Tesla to drive from San Diego to LA for $49. Customer drive. Well, that's not right, sure, is it? That's just renting a car. Yes, you may have it and not know it. Virus in the car, you will die. Way not safe. What do you guys think about all of these little tattletales? You know, I heard in my community, I heard in the radio today, you know how you can have carry out and pick up at restaurants. And someone went to a barbecue place, a rib joint, I guess, and they got their food and they're eating it in their car in the parking lot. And someone called the police on them. Oh, there's someone eating in a car in a park. You're in your own car. How are you going to give any virus to anything? And that's what worries me. You know, they say we're in this together, but it's not bringing us together. It's tearing us apart. Everybody's pointing, look at them, look at them, look at them, look at them. Another thing that happened in my community, but the police raided a church last Sunday. They were doing a live stream, a live cast of a service. No one was there but, you know, the preacher and the technical people. And according to Wisconsin, you can have up to 10 people in one room. Why are people doing this? They're turning on one another. We're turning into a bunch of piranhas. I don't like to see that in my country. All right. Cloth masks, you can wash them. Mark, you can wash them, but why are you wearing them? I still ask you, why are you wearing them? Because everything I've seen so far, research says that the virus can get through the weave of cloth. You know, unless it's like HEPA filter quality or what, I don't know. But the only reason you should use it is so you're not coughing, sneezing, particulating on other people if you are infected. If you're infected, why are you going outside? It seems counterproductive to me. If you know, if you're infected, you shouldn't need the mask because you shouldn't be going out and putting other people at risk. Right? All right. Mark, unemployment hit 16 million. I know it's terrible. Some people are not educated. It should be up to people to, you know, be responsible and assume some of their own risks. But I get why some of these things are taking place. I understand it. I'm not saying we should completely disregard things, but you know, I had one chucklehead, more than one, that said, "Oh, Mark, you want people to die." Really? I want people to die. It's that simple. I want people to die because I think you can take reasonable precautions without going overboard, without panicking. I could turn around and just say, you want people to lose their jobs. You want people to lose businesses that they built their whole life. You want people to go broke and lose their life savings. You want people to fall in such deep depression that they commit suicide. I would never really say that, but that's just as ridiculous and absurd and moronic as someone that says to me, you want people to die. Of course I don't want people to die. I just feel that I have the choice to take responsibility for myself and take reasonable precautions. I'm going to wash my hands. I'm going to create some distance between me and other people. I'm not going to walk up to some guy who is hacking up a lung and stand a foot in front of him. No, I'm not going to do that. Okay, I don't know when they'll be open. No cash tips, not touching that filthy lucre. That's what happens to Tulsa Rideshare. I think it's gone. I hate the SOBs ratting people out. I'm sick of the howling at 2 every now. Well, that'd be 2,000 hours would be 8 o'clock, right? I took an Uber the other day as a rider and sat behind the driver. I pretended I sneezed and sprayed. Oh, that's that old gag where you sneeze and squirt the water. You didn't do that. Didn't do that. Come on, tell me you didn't really do that. You wear a mask to protect others. The mask helps direct the sneeze. You're exactly right. That's why you wear it. But what my point was, if you think you're going to infect other people, you shouldn't even be out. So then the point of the mask becomes moot. They can leak through the mask, but it's more efficient than no mask. Also, you pass the virus when you're asymptomatic. If the virus goes through the cloth, they're teaching us to wear a scarf. I saw a lady the other day, and she had a turtleneck pulled up. Remember Mort from from the bazooka. Do you guys remember the little square bazooka bubble gum? And you'd open it up and they would have a little comic and they had Bazooka Joe. He wore a red baseball cap. And then they had Mort, and Mort had his shirt pulled up like that's how I saw a lady walking around at the post office the other day. I couldn't have. I busted a gut. I never understood that. Here's this Bazooka Joe for kids, and that one guy had an eye patch. It's like some kid must have got his eye poked out with a stick or something. Well, maybe the Bazooka Joe bubblegum popped in his eyeball. I don't know. U.S. is becoming a police state. See, that's what worries me. I don't mind taking precautions, but what I don't like is they're taking freedoms with it. And I don't like that. I gave a quote the other day by my good friend Benjamin Franklin. He was a bit older than me, but, we were like this. I'm the one over here. And Ben used to say, if you're willing to trade a little bit of freedom for security, you deserve neither. And we are giving up more than just a little bit of freedom right now. Okay, if everybody was masked, it'll slow down the spread. Depending on, I think one of the conditions getting back to work is wearing the mask. Do you think about American public having hangings in the 1800s? I don't know, probably got rid of a lot of riffraff. In the 1800s, they had hangings into the 1900s, I believe. They hung the Lincoln conspirators all in one mass hanging. You ever seen that picture? There's several, including Mary Surratt, the woman whose boarding house was where they planned the whole thing. Hung them all together. And they say it costs more to execute someone, but back in the day they didn't have all of the, they didn't wait and keep them in jail for 15 years, and they didn't have all the appeals and everything. You're convicted. There you go. So it was kind of different. Sneezing is a crime now. Well, it feels like it. My last day driving, I picked up someone from California, let out a whooping sneeze without covering his mouth. That was it for me. I got my first camera. I got one of those Bazooka Joe cameras too when I was a kid. It was real cheap. It had a real crummy lens. I got one of those. I think I used it once. I think I put one roll of film in it. That's funny. Hey, Roy. I had a similar experience, 4 guys back from a ski trip, and I was like, don't want to be this close to people. See, now you're all taking reasonable precautions. I'm good with that. I'm just not real big on forcing people to do things. I'm not a real religious person. But one thing that really bugs me is when you try to put the kibosh on, on religious meetings, when people are trying to go to church or they're trying to go to, to temple or mosque or wherever they do. Once you start telling people you can't do that, that's when I start to worry a little bit. Meeting with Tryp. If you talked about that, I talked about that in the first 3 minutes. So we might have to watch. I'll give you the 30-second synopsis. It's be about the third time, but I took some liberties. It really wasn't a formal meeting. They had a live webinar that I attended. There weren't many people there. I was one of the few people there. I asked a bunch of questions. No real new information. They say they're going to launch in Miami and or New York. They don't know when. They don't know which one will be first. Bob McNulty says when it happens, he's going to dance the hula. Riders or drivers get 100% of the fee minus a booking fee, and it's a subscription service. End of story. That was pretty much it. And I got some email address that I'm going to follow up with some more information. And they did recognize me, even though I went in under an assumed name. One of them called me UberHints. All right. So I wish I could get a haircut. Yeah, me too. I think Mark attended one of their teleconferences. Yeah, that's exactly it, Jay. I like Bazooka Joe. Are they still in business? I don't know. I haven't seen Bazooka Joe in a long time. It would be cool, wouldn't it, to go to the Bazooka Joe company and see who are the artists that draw all of the comics and how do they get them folded in half and wrapped around the gum? That would be really, really neat. I used to collect those. And remember then, a little later they would come out with a big multi-pack, and it was like a giant comic. It was worth like 25 of the regular little penny comics. Those were the days. I have a bubble. I should bring it in here one time. I have a real commercial bubble gum machine. You know, a gumball dispenser. It uses quarters. What do you know what I always do? I have the key to it taped right on top of the machine, and I only have 2 quarters. And every time I buy 2 pieces of gum, then I'll open up the machine, I'll take the 2 quarters out. So next time I want gum, I can put them in again. So I always have the same 2 quarters cycling through the machine. If I could go back in history, where would I go? Beyond any shadow of doubt, revolutionary times. I love those people. I just like the fact that you had a bunch of scruffy, people from that had little going for them, and they took on the strongest army in the world. I just love that part of history. The other thing I'd probably like to do is, this one I think would be a little risky, but I'd like to kind of go back to the time of Christ, only because I would like to witness that and see, is this a real thing or is this folklore and fable? That would be really interesting to see that. So that would be, but I think a DeLorean appearing there, that didn't have roads. And I guess if I already had the hover conversion where I'm going, I wouldn't need roads. But those would probably be the 2 times I'd be interested in seeing. UberHints doesn't exist anymore. It kind of does. I still use that email, uberhints@gmail.com. Tryp is laundering money from people that signed up and use it for Bitcoin. I cut my own hair the other day. I do it every morning. I mean, I'm only cutting off this much every morning, but I do it every morning. I have a head similar to Mark's. Perfect. That's what my dad used to say. He used to say, God only made a few perfect heads, and he hid the rest under hair. Nothing more than a taxi company. Tryp is nothing more than a taxi company, and probably no less crooked. My regular Twitter account got suspended today. Why, Jay? Why? Why did it get suspended? Why? See how I said that like Cindy Lou who is no more than 2? What do you think about the Roswell, New Mexico UFO? That would be a neat time to go back and see that weather balloon come down and everybody go into a panic tizzy over it. Every time that you want to kind of believe in little green men and ET and all that, you listen to, one of the NASA astronauts or something, or you listen to him talking about, the Voyager that was sent out in 1977, and it's barely, out of our solar system after 43 years. And it's going to take like how many hundreds of thousands of years, many light years, just to reach like the nearest probable planet that could even support life. And you think, yeah, those guys aren't coming here. Even if they are out there, they're not coming here. I don't believe it for a minute. It's fun to think about, though, isn't it? I have a really interest in that stuff because I think it's just fun. Bigfoot and Loch Ness Monster. It's kind of fun to suspend your disbelief. But in my heart, no, I don't believe in that. I had a list that was inappropriately named, so I guess someone on it whined. Oh, yeah, I suppose. Have some tech issues all of a sudden, so I'm signing off. David, you have a good evening, my friend. At least the green men will get to see us naked. Why would they want to? Yikes. I don't even want to look in a mirror. Why? When you think about it, right? It's not these fashion models that are getting abducted and probed. It's always some big fat beer, swigging guy from rural Louisiana named Bubba that gets abducted and probed. Oh, I don't know. Oh my goodness. Why do you think they killed JFK? Probably because he was cheating on her with Marilyn Monroe. Wait, oh, it's not up anymore. I used to have the Texas. Who is it in the back? It might be behind this. Should I turn it? No, I don't want to turn it around. I used to have the Texas School Book Depository. Have you seen my videos that I've done from the Grassy Knoll and from Dealey Plaza? You got to go over to the other side. You have to go to the Average Me channel and you can see those videos. I stood up in the window. Well, you really can't go to that window. You can either go to the window above it or the window alongside it because the actual sniper's nest sealed off by plexiglass. What do you know about the loan? I don't know anything about it. Don't forget Bubba gets a probe. I know it. For cracking down on the mafia. And I don't think that that Jackie had anything to do with the mafia. You know, he was killed because it was a sad little man who was upset with the world and he thought he could make a name for himself. And he took some shots at the president who was who had some lax security, right? I mean, the security was lacking. He was in an open car with nothing protecting him from a sniper shooting from above. And so a little nobody took a shot and got lucky. That's all it was. I hung out with you a few days back when you had the premiere at Walt Disney World, still waiting for the Epcot Center. Yeah, you were there during that, weren't you? I do premieres sometimes. That one, there weren't many of us in the room that day. Hey, Lisa. How you doing? Lisa might have been at that premiere on the other channel. She pops in at that now and then. So now I have two moderators in the room. So watch your step, guys. Where did Roy go? Is Roy still here? He just stops in and makes a name for himself and then leaves. Do you think they can assassinate a president today? Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, they almost did it with Reagan in the 80s. You know, well, who was that? Was that Squeaky? Was that Squeaky Fromm? No, Squeaky Fromm tried to get Ford, didn't she? Who was that? I can picture the guy, but I can't think of his name. Yeah, it would be no problem, especially if you're willing to sacrifice yourself. You know, like a lot of these shooters. Well, you know, they'll like happened in Milwaukee. You know, at the brewery recently when they shot up people and they killed themselves. Well, if you're willing to sacrifice yourself, it'd be really easy. We shouldn't talk about, why are you talking about this? We don't want a president to die. President, man, they're our leader. We need him. That could really bring the country down. What else? Yeah, were you at the past too? I'm talking to Lisa here. It was a mob. They bailed out his father. It's romantic. That's kind of the Roswell version. I believe it was just. Usually the simplest answers are right. The most usually they're right. The deeper and more convoluted you have to go, I think that you're digging around too deep. Ari wants to be a mod. Are you at every live stream? You gotta be at every live stream to be a mod, you know. I should do like Dustin. He would only make moderators when they would donate to the channel. Remember that? Yes, you were getting your oil change. At least I remember that. I do remember that. Yes, it was that guy who loved Jodie Foster. That's right. Has anyone ever seen me and Eisenhower in a room together? I know what you're getting at. Watch your step. We got moderators. The CIA killed JFK by accident. They were going for Jackie. Was that it? Occam's razor. Ask Mark. I'm always late to the. But yeah, you kind of are. You know what? Well, no, actually, I didn't. I think I'm gonna have to split up my Twitter accounts pretty soon. I'm gonna have to make one for this channel and one for. You notice that I'm starting. My experiment kind of failed. I didn't get a lot of views and a lot of traffic for the travel stuff, so I think I'm going to take the travel stuff over to the other channel again and concentrate more on rideshare. The problem, you tell me, what are the other rideshare guys doing during this? Because there's nothing to talk about. You know, I don't want to just hit myself over the head, you know, with, ooh, that feels good, with this coronavirus thing. So there just isn't that much to talk about. Yes, my email is still UberHints, and it will always be UberHints. That's not going to change. Well, I don't know that they drank goat blood. I, I think the stories are exaggerated. They're basically talking about unemployment, you know, and that's the thing. I can't do it, Lisa. They come here. I want to have fun. I want this to be, you know, the party where I want people to enjoy themselves. We can talk about unemployment. We can, and oh God, you bring the place down. When I watch that other guy's channel, it's like, you know, you get so depressed. I don't want to depress people. I want people to feel good about being here. I feel good. Da 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 da. I knew that I would now. Da 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 da. I did ask, and I appreciate you telling me. I'm not mad at you, my friend. I'm just pontificating on stuff I don't know about as usual. I enjoyed Mark's beginning. He'll discuss something first, then say, let's talk about it, and then sends his credits and comes back online. You know what? I probably spend more time on editing and trying to polish my videos than most of those guys. And yet, you look at Dustin. He does everything on a doggone cell phone. And he's got 5 times the subscribers I do. I don't know. Oh, not my head. I got to get on this side to even things out now. Oh, my goodness. This is my Louisville Slugger that I got when I was in Louisville at the Louisville Slugger Company. I made a video on it, by the way. Oh, when I did that video, it was kind of funny. I got scolded for swinging Babe Ruth's bat. I did. If you want to know more about it, you're going to have to go to my channel and look up my visit to the Louisville Slugger. Anybody see that video? Anybody, huh? I hear the crickets chirp. You know, it's been so weird here. It took you that long to notice it, Ari? It has been so weird here in the Milwaukee area. A couple of days ago, it was almost 70 degrees. It was snowing today. It snowed 3 times throughout the day. I mean, it wasn't like it accumulated to anything. It's just like, you know, little styrofoam balls bouncing around on the pavement. But it snowed 3 times today. It's so cold. Enjoy your videos as well. Yes, Lisa's coming along just fine, isn't she? Doing a nice job. You know, Jeffrey Epstein was aboard of one of Kobe Bryant's companies. Are we getting into conspiracy theories now? I don't think that anybody crashed a helicopter on purpose to kill a basketball player. Basketball players aren't all that important when you think about it in the big scheme of things, right? I mean, everybody's important to their friends and family, right? Everybody's a person, but I don't think that there would be a conspiracy to kill someone, right? Who do you think told you how to do videos? I don't know. Who told you how to do videos, Lisa? I didn't know there was a primer on how to do videos. Just kind of turn on the camera and do them, don't you? Who told you how to do them? Was that Mr. Dustin? Was it Kev? Was it one of our friends? Dustin on my iPhone. Okay. Do I think Epstein killed himself? No way. No way did he kill himself. Here's Mr. No Conspiracy, but I'll tell you on that one, yeah, that was a little fishy. That was a little fishy. He did not commit suicide. I don't think so. I really don't think so. It's happening again. We have to, now my channel turns into the Dustin channel. Really? Really? All right. Hey, did you guys notice? You see that? You see that? I got the key hung up. Oh yeah. Oh wait, that's Rick's line, isn't it? Oh, is Rick still here? Oh yeah. Yeah, I got my key hung up. Do you ever notice when what last great movie would I do not I'm not a big fan of current movies. Um, no, I someone asked me that the last time. I don't watch the tiger thing. I'm nervous to watch it because I am really an animal lover. I really am disturbed at so many animals that are nearing extinction. It bothers me to see elephants getting needlessly killed for ivory tusks and tigers being held in captivity and being killed in the wild and being inbred. And here the first thing I see when I see that tiger show, this guy that's supposed to love tigers and he has a tiger pelt hanging behind him on the wall. I know that it's supposed to be about this weirdo you know uh, cluster of people that raise cats, and there's a murder mystery I suppose in there and a bunch of other things. I don't know, I don't watch it. This is what I'm picking up from the hype. I can't bring myself to watch it because I think there's going to be abuse of animals I'm going to find really disturbing. And I'll tell you what, it's going to sound weird, but I would find the abuse of the animals far more disturbing than the murder of the person. So so I don't. I I didn't say I was supposed to show you around. I threatened to do that. No, this is not pretty where I'm sitting right now. This is not pretty at all. It's just a lot of shelving. You know what I have right over here? I got one of those, one of those fortune tellers. You push the button and like a big full size fortune teller I got right over here. Um, I got to get rid of that humidifier. Warm weather's coming pretty soon. Maybe I can sell that. What else do I have here? Weird stuff. Weird stuff. Got a couple crates of light bulbs. The room is not that interesting. Trust me, the room is simply not that interesting. Here, listen to this. That's my main water feed. That's how far I can touch my water meter in my house. That's where I am. This is not a studio. This is a basement. All right, now I'm probably going to get a leak in here. I probably just broke that solder. Now I'll be sorry I did that. Right? Every great movie doesn't stop in 1989. You're right. It stops in 1959. Yeah, there's some good movies. I just can't. I'm sure there's some good movies. I just can't think of one right now that I really liked and really enjoyed. I'd have to go way back. I mean, some of my very favorite movies are The Thin Man. That's what 1933. You know, um, I liked I don't know, Sunset Boulevard. What's Sunset Boulevard? 51, 52. Those are movies I like. Citizen Kane. Once again, going back to the 40s. A lot of Billy Wilder stuff. I like Some Like It Hot. Great movie. The Apartment. Another Billy Wilder. Hitchcock. I like a lot of Hitchcock stuff. So the room is what we make of it. You better believe it. The basement. Quiet for the wife. Not if she's walking in the room right upstairs. And I have to scold and say, go upstairs. Go upstairs, woman. No, trust me, I would never say that. else you would see this being used on my head. Okay. We've got snow coming Sunday with a high of 32. Sending it your way. We got it today. Have you ever been to Portland? I have been to Portland. If you watch my channel, I have 2 videos from Portland. One of them, I do the Portland Underground, and the other, outside of Portland. I thought we talked about this. The guy that lives on a 727. And unfortunately, all I had was my cell phone for that one, so it's kind of dark, but that was pretty cool. He showed me all around his 727. He was weird. He was like an old hippie from the 60s. He answered the door naked. I didn't need to see that. By the way, Saturday I'm going to be calling in on the UDM live stream. I don't know what UDM is, so um, who's your favorite current actor? Kurt Russell. Dirty clothes. No, 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 no dirty clothes on the floor. No, 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 no. That would never be allowed in my house. You used to watch Laverne and Shirley back in the day. I did. You kidding me? It took place in my hometown. The lie that linked CIA to Kennedy assassination. YouTube is very good. Mark, you better look him up. I don't know who he is. Lisa, I tell you this every single time. You know I don't watch other UberTubers. You know that. So I don't have time. I barely have time to get my content out, let alone watch other people's content. It's enough. I will sometimes, venture in and watch I subscribe to my friends that I know from here, and I'll drop in when I can. Yours are easy to drop into on Lisa because they're short. So, yeah, that's pretty much how I do it. I haven't stopped in on a Dustin show in a while. He's done so much of that candid camera stuff now, So, well, we're getting close to an hour. Should we think about wrapping it up, people? Or should we drag this one out a little? You know what I didn't do yet? Who can tell me what I didn't do yet in this video? Mark, you're in a weekly podcast with other drivers, are you not? No, it's not weekly. It's monthly at best. I thought Overboard was one of his weaker films. I'll tell you what, one of my very favorite movies. You want a movie that was after, what did you say, 1991 or something? Tombstone. Oh my God. Tombstone's one of those movies, if I'm switching channels in Tombstone, I come across, yeah, do you see how old I am? This is how I switch channels. Click, 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 click. I have that TV with the round CRT tube, which is redundant. So, anyhow, if I'm switching channels in Tombstone, I flash by I end up watching it. Another movie like that is The Godfather. Oh my God, I love The Godfather. No, America will never go to war with China. China, as much as people are afraid of them, they have enough of their own problems. Trust me, they do not want to be at war with a superpower. They don't want that. And we don't want it either. That's right. Just got here. We're just starting to wrap things up, but then they started asking me questions again. Tombstone was great. You tell them I'm coming, and hell's coming with me. That's a great line. Please don't go. So Godfather and Tombstone. Yep, those are... Back to the Future, of course. I love almost anything by Bob Zemeckis. I really like Robert Zemeckis movies. So if you think of all the movies he made, very good movies. He made Back to the Future. He made Romancing the Stone. He made Who Framed Roger Rabbit. He made... Did he do Apollo 13 or was that Ron Howard? Ron Howard did Apollo 13, right? But didn't Zemeckis do one of those space movies too? Godfather Part 1, of course. Part 2 was good too, but 1 was far better. It was more straightforward thing. All the flashbacks and stuff in 2 was a little disconcerting. I don't think that Pacino was as charming and charismatic. Michael was not. The progression of Michael in Godfather 1 was great. In 2, it was too one-dimensional. So I didn't like him quite as much. You saw every Godfather, even 3. You even wasted a couple hours of your life watching Godfather 3. Terminator 2. Terminator 2 is not a bad movie. Okay, I'll give you that. Arnold Schwarzenegger is not a good actor, right? He is the epitome of, he's not an actor, he's a movie star. But he makes some fun movies, let's face it. Rocky 32. I like the Rock. I'll tell you what, I'm almost ashamed to say this. My favorite Rocky movie is Rocky 3. You know, the one with the Clubber Lang and Thunder Lips. That's my favorite one. Um, the other one wasn't too bad, the Russian one, but Mark for president, yeah. I know. I noticed you're skipping over 2020. Are you assuming that that one's in the bag or what? So those are my favorite movies. I like I like those a lot of those De Niro gangster movies. The Casino and those films. They were good. Godfather 2 is good because I enjoyed the history and the backstory of the Godfather, how he became the Godfather. That was an interesting part. I'll give you that. The flashbacks were interesting, and the parallels that they made. Because if you know a little bit of gangster history, you know who all those characters are kind of sort of supposed to be. So there will be no. You know what's funny? I never realized that Mo Green was supposed to be Bugsy Siegel. I never realized that until um, Godfather 2. When you watch Godfather 1, that's not made clear. Then in Godfather 2, that's kind of alluded to that he was Bugsy Siegel. There will be no election this year. It's all set up for Trump to cancel. I don't think that Trump wants to cancel the election. I don't think that there's any benefit for him to cancel it. I think it's the other way around. I'm not really happy with him right now. Imagine the stress of being president. Oh, God. It would turn my hair gray. Make your own joke. The movie Heat and Goodfellas. Goodfellas, I liked the first 3/4 of Goodfellas. Once that whole end part with the helicopter and stuff started, once it got into like the late 70s or whatever, I didn't care for it so much anymore. I like your hair or lack there. Did you ever see my picture? My posed headshot when I was young and handsome and charming and debonair, and I had my full head of hair and my tuxedo on. Did I ever show you that? Could Mark carry Wisconsin? No, 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 no. No, Wisconsin, no. Will aliens attack the world when Trump is president? Like that movie. Remember that movie with Jack Nicholson where he's president and the aliens attacked? Okay, which actor, who would you cast for President Trump? Who would you cast for Nancy Pelosi? Who would you cast for Schumer? Who would you cast for all those people? I don't know. I just threw it out there. I don't have anyone in mind right now. I bet if I give it some thought, I could come up with some. I used to drive through Wisconsin frequently. Speed limit strictly enforced. Yes, it is. Last 2 times through Wisconsin, people going 80 miles per hour, what happened? They raised the speed limit. Speed limit went up to 70, and you can usually push it to about 10 miles past and raise the speed limit. So, Al Bundy. Yeah, he's a good actor. He could pull it off. I'll give you. I just said that like Goldie Wilson, didn't I? Mayor. I will be mayor, Mr. Carruthers. I'll clean up this town. I know most of you don't have no idea what I'm talking about, do you? Yeah, I think, what's his name? I can't even think of his name now, Al Bundy. But I think you got something there. He would probably be able to do a good job. All right. Oh, you're saying that President Trump would be President Trump? Yeah, he does. He likes to be in front of the camera, doesn't he? He would probably just want to play himself. Have I ever seen The Seventh Seal? I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what that is, The Seventh Seal. Ed O'Neill, there you go. Thank you. Thank you. Do any of you remember when Ed O'Neill had a short-lived TV series, Dragnet? He had a remake of that Dragnet. Yeah, he was pretty good. I drive got pulled over and the cops told me Cop said to me, I don't know what they do down in Illinois. Wisconsin, we go through the state law. He knows what they do in Illinois. In Illinois, they grease palms. That's what they do in Illinois. Do I think the White House is haunted? Did I ever tell you last summer I met an ex-CIA that used to work in the White House? He told me some neat stories. Stories about crawl spaces between. I didn't know this. I should have because I like history, but apparently when the White House burned down, they had to rebuild and they had to plumb it and put pipes as it got modern and stuff. And there's like a shell, from the outside to the inside, and there's a lot of crawl spaces and stuff in there. And he spent some time in those crawl. He told me some neat stories. He was the same one that was at Ground Zero when the towers came down. This was a fascinating guy. I spent a week, I had some business, and I went out to lunch with him twice that week. Just a fascinating guy. Of course, I can't share who he is, and I couldn't put him on camera or anything, but boy, he was a neat guy. Nancy Pelosi, Wicked Witch of the West. I've been flashed by Wisconsin State Patrol for going too. I'll tell you one thing that really was neat. One time I was, when I was a much, much younger man, I was on my motorcycle, and I was coming out of downtown Milwaukee, and I passed a cop. I know, not the brightest thing to do. And he flashed his lights, and he spoke to me over the speaker. And that was it. He spoke on his loudspeaker, hey, slow down or something. I slowed down. That was the end of it. He didn't pull me over or anything. I thought that was pretty cool. So, I think I was going over 20 miles per hour over. Well, yeah, don't go 20 over. He's not a friend of mine. He's an acquaintance, a guy I only met for a few days. And he doesn't live here. He lives back east. So, it would be a very interesting story, though. I've met several people now that have been at Ground Zero. And I'm not even in New York. I'm sitting here in Wisconsin. I imagine New Yorkers, man, every New Yorker must know somebody, right? Go, Donnie, go. Seventh Seal was a Swedish film about a guy playing chess with the devil for his life. Devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. He was in a bind. He was way behind. He was willing to make a deal. He came upon this young man standing on a hickory stump. Wasn't that? Now I forget the rest of the words. He was playing a fiddle and playing it hot. The devil jumped on a hickory stump, and said, boy, let me tell you what. That's how it goes. Now I got that in my head. I guess you didn't know, but I'm a fiddle player too. And if you care to take a dare, I'll make a bet with you. Anyone remember that one? You play pretty good fiddle, boy, but give the devil his due. I got a fiddle of gold against your soul because I think I'm better than you. All right, enough of that. The boy said, my name's Donnie. And it might be a sin, but I'll take your bet and you're going to regret it because I'm the best it's ever been. Okay. Who was it? What was his name? Daniels. Something Daniels. Jack Daniels. It wasn't Jack Daniels. Something like that. Daniels. Illinois. You have 100 wrapped around your driver's license. Yeah, I know Illinois. Really? Come on. What's his name? Daniels. I'm forgetting the first name. Charlie Daniels. There you go. And he always had his eyes closed. I mean, I know I squint bad. I know I squint a lot. But he always had his eyes closed when he sang and fiddled. What's my favorite food? Do I look like I turn down any food? I mean, really. It changes. I would have to say 3 things are my favorite foods. A very properly prepared filet mignon. Hardly anything beats that. You give me a filet mignon with a baked potato and maybe some broccoli, I'm in heaven. Okay? A good old-fashioned American cheeseburger. I like cheeseburgers. And finally, pizza. Those probably be my 3 favorite things. Okay, bat meat. Bat meat. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da, bat meat. Mark Eats Fire, can we see this, please? Go to the Average Meat channel. If you want to see that stuff, it's all on the other channel. I would definitely say some type of steak, ribeye, T-bone, filet mignon. Always filet mignon. I don't like having to leave anything. Whatever I pay for at the restaurant, I want to, when I was growing up, back in the Depression, it was a bad thing to not clean your plate. And Mama would always say, "Boy, you clean your plate." And so, we would have to eat all three of the peas that she set before us. And if we didn't clean the plate, that was not a good thing. So I always clean my plate. That was a great guess. I was right in your head. Oh, that's scary, Donnie. Why do you think I bring it to this channel? Oh, you did see that. Okay. Yeah, I just had a still shot of it. I didn't, no, I didn't fire eat on the channel, did I? I just had pictures. I think I had pictures of myself on Bourbon Street doing fire eating, right? What do you think about teachers used to hit kids with paddles? Pretty vicious. I don't know that hitting is usually a good thing. I don't think you've seen all my videos, Ari. I've got something like 300 videos over there and something like 500 videos here. I don't think you've seen them all. But maybe you did. I don't know. I hope you did. Every single video. It's been a lot. I bet there's videos on there I haven't watched since I put them out. Today it's beans and rice and beans, but a volunteer time for everyone. Go there, please volunteer. Go volunteer where? Just in general? Volunteer. I agree. Volunteering is a good thing. I agree with that. If you got time, go out and volunteer. I like broccoli. Thank you, Ari. I do appreciate that. I like broccoli. It's one of the things. I like cauliflower too. I used to hate Brussels sprouts when I was a kid. And now there are some restaurants that really know how to make Brussels sprouts. And I'll even eat Brussels sprouts now. Green beans I like. Man. Mrs. White made some great green beans. Okay, can anyone know what that was from? Look at this. We're already almost 75 minutes in. Green beans are prime, Mrs. White. Okay. Well, talk about it's the same source they talked about rice and beans, right? So we're tight. We're together on that one. All right. No one told me what I didn't do this video yet. No one's gonna figure it out what I didn't do. Does your wife ever come on your channel, or does she not want to? She'd never ever come on my channel. She's probably embarrassed of me. You don't think I act this way in public, do you? I mean, really? What did you say, Ari? No, I would never ask her to be on my channel. That wouldn't be fair to her. Oh, I forgot to wash the dishes. I didn't say Joe time. That wasn't what I was thinking about. What I was thinking about is this. I'm helping some elderly. Oh, that's great. Your dad is 99 years old. Good for Dad. I lost both my parents, as you know, in the past couple years. My mom died last year. My dad died the year before. So I think that's wonderful that your parents living that long. Angry troll mail. I haven't done angry mail in a long time. I haven't gotten angry mail in a long time. Nobody's watching my channel anymore. So I haven't been. I used to get thousands. I don't know what happened. I honestly don't know what happened. I used to get thousands of views and then went right down the tubes. So, oh well. Yeah, that's when I can play the fiddle. Oh, poor Mark. Poor Mark. Boo-hoo. Yeah. I live with my mother that's 82. Cops is a popular Milwaukee chain. You betcha. I used to love, I haven't eaten at Cops in a long, long, long time. Yeah, they got that great big hamburger. Yeah, I used to go to the one by Southridge, down on 76th Street, 76th, and I guess that would be Layton. Yeah, I used to like Cops. Gillies. I used to go to Gillies. I know it's called Gillis's, but everyone here calls it Gillies. And back when I was a kid, well, I wasn't a kid so much. I was a young man. And what's his name? Bud Selig, you know, baseball commissioner. And of course, he owned the Milwaukee Brewers. And he always used to go to Gillies at lunchtime and grab a ice cream. I used to see him there quite a bit. Yeah, Donnie has a channel. If you guys want to see what Donnie looks like, I've been to Donnie's channel. You guys don't know that I see your channels, but I do. Every now I don't leave many comments, but every now and then I'll leave a comment just to let you know that I'm out there, that I'm lurking, that I'm giving you a view. Have I ever left a comment on your channel, Donnie? Lisa, are you still here? Did I ever leave a comment on your channel, Lisa? I'll bet I did. Selig does not own the Brewers anymore, no. Oh, thank you, that's right. I appreciate it. No, Selig sold off, and when he sold, that's when I swore I would never go to a Brewer game because he basically it was a money grab when he sold. He worked out some deals with the counties and the 5 counties surrounding areas, and I didn't like it, and to this day I've been to a lot of Brewer games, but I do it because the BP stations here, if you fill up with 8 gallons of gas, you get a stamp on a card, and when you get 7 stamps, you get a free ticket to the Brewers. So that's how I go to Brewer games. I'm not going to pay. I won't pay those rascals. I did pay one time. It was during, something was going on. It was, I don't know if it was during when the hurricane or the floods or whatever, but teams couldn't play, and they came up and they played some games in Milwaukee, and so of course their fans aren't coming up to watch, so they had like really cheap tickets and really good tickets, and so I did that. So yeah, the TGIF in Milwaukee is great, it really is, and but that's when I go to the. Now, are you a Cubby fan, Ari? Do you come up for the Cub games? You went in the winter. I've done that too, gone in there and just look at the field and stuff when no game's being played. So, where are we right now? We still have 14 people. I can't believe the 14 people hung on this long and watched this stuff. Selig was also instrumental in the destruction of the game of baseball. I don't know about that. I'm not a huge fan of him. I could take him or leave him. You know, it's one of those. I mean, what else is happening? It seems like only Donnie and Ari and Donnie and Lisa's gone, isn't she? Donnie and Lisa have not told me. So do you come up during the Cubs games? Are you one of those obnoxious Chicago people that come up? Actually, they're not that bad. You left numerous comments. I know you can't help yourself. You love the content. Come on, man. That's true. That is true, Donnie. What's your favorite takeout pizza and frozen pizza? I had pizza tonight. I made it in my air fryer, and I made it in the flatbread. I bought flatbread at Meijer's, and then I squirted the, I don't know, contadina or something it's called, a pizza sauce. And then I put some mozzarella cheese and a little bit of cheddar cheese, and I put some olives on top. Put it for 4 minutes in my air fryer, and that was good. My favorite takeout pizza and frozen. I don't know. I don't really have a favorite. There's a place not too far from me called the North Lake Inn. It's in North Lake, Wisconsin. They have good pizza. Thin crust. If you like thin crust. Giordano's in Chicago, I like. I know a lot of people don't like it. Illuminati's is pretty good too in Chicago. Those probably be my 2 go-to Chicago places. I know they're chains, so they're easy to get to. So what do you think, MH? You're in Chicago. Did I hit it? Did I hit 2 good Chicago pizza places? Milwaukee Brewers minor league team is our MGM Stadium in Biloxi. Try to get their games. They're awesome. Oh, cool. I have a connection with Biloxi, Mississippi, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. Is that where you are, Donnie? You're in Mississippi? MISSISSIPPI. Chicago pizza, yuck. Well, you gotta like thick crust, you know. I mean, he eats that, you know, like got pizza, it's 2 inches thick. The girl in my car really wanted to ask out. I always remain professional, but I'm really kicking myself for not asking her. How would you have handled it? Do I look like a guy that's asked anybody out in the past 30 years? I want to ask her out. I always said, I'm sorry, I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable, but if you think about it, could you? I don't know what I would have said. I would have had the more subtle approach though, because I wouldn't want it to get fired, you know. So I would have somehow given her an option to follow up if she wanted to. That's what I would have done. Given her my card or something. MH pizzas, thick crust, not thin. That's just like in New York. She was worth the activation. No, Jay, you did not stalk her. Ask at the end of the ride. No, that deep dish crap came from some guy in Cicero Avenue. Was his name Slippin' Jimmy? I'll tell you, I have gotten more red light tickets on Cicero than any place in the country. I hate the red light in Chicago. I hate it. I hate it with a passion. I know technically that's not in Chicago. I think it's in Cicero. But you know where on Cicero down in Oak Lawn, I believe, where there's that round Hilton. Do you know what I'm talking about? I think it's on Cicero. Right around there, I get more. I must have gotten 3 red light tickets right around that area. I'm from Chicago. I haven't lived there since '76. Nurse from Philly. Well, some guys marry nurses. I was born in '76, and since then, it's always been thick. I guess you blew your chance unless you remember where she lives and can stalk her. Jay, that's the second time you said to stalk her. Stop it. Yep, you missed your chance. You plan it out now, so if it happens again, you know better. Well, you found out she was a nurse, so you must have been, you know, chatting her up a little bit. But asking me for advice on dating is, no, you're barking up the wrong tree, my friend. Oh my goodness, it's like asking Marilyn Monroe to help you study for a PhD exam. It ain't gonna happen. Okay, you're 4 years older than me. Just park by our house and wait for her to order another ride. Well, you know her schedule now. Forced to leave in '76. I was gonna go back. Came to my senses. That was a good choice. She hadn't eaten or drank anything 24 hours, so I bought her a Gatorade. We talked about a half an hour. Oh my goodness! Well, you were already there. Okay, I'm disappointed in you, young man. You were already there. If you were chatting her up, you bought her a Gatorade, you were swapping stories. She was waiting. She was waiting for you to ask for a number. If you'd like to do this again, maybe under a little different circumstance, can I give you a call? That's simple. Those are the dumb lines I used to use. My experience is most girls didn't really care how clever or slick you were. They just wanted you to ask them out. If they were interested, they wouldn't care how clumsy you were. If they weren't interested, no line in the world is going to work. I think it's pretty much that simple. Well, see, I have a connection, Donnie, with Biloxi and casinos. I'm not going to go much beyond that, but I do have a connection with Biloxi through the casinos. I'll go a little further through Riverboat Casino. Hey, Chicago's a good place. Ari, do you know about what I'm talking about? The Hilton Hotel, the Round Hilton in Oak Lawn. And I think it's on Cicero, but I'm not sure. The more I think about it, the more I think it's not. You know what I'm thinking of? Mark is the guy Ozark is based on. Which guy is that? I hope it's, there's a lot of guys in Ozark. I've only watched the first season or a part of the first season. Um, so you're talking about that kid from the Hogans. What's his name? Study some. I'm telling you, Rick, you don't need pickup lines. Pickup lines don't work. Just be be yourself. Be forward. Be dorky. Be clumsy. Be awkward. Women find that charming and endearing. They're flattered if you're nice and you ask them out. They're flattered even if they say no. So I left the room. What you're talking about? I attended my mother. Can you please repeat your story? Probably not. I can't remember his name. The star. Okay, yeah. What is Jason Bateman? Jason Bateman. There you go. He's not a bad actor. You know, he showed up in a lot of stuff. Okay, we have, oh man, almost an hour and a half. You guys, what are you doing to me? You're corrupting me. What time is it? It's almost 10:30. This dude needs his beauty sleep. Yeah. My wife's going to say, what were you doing down? No, she'll be asleep when I get upstairs. She'll be asleep already. When you're in Chicago, let me know. When I'm in Chicago, I'll try not to let anybody know. Whatever happened to Chicago Thin Crust Pizza? It's cut into squares. New York Triangle, best thing to eat in Chicago. Italian beef sandwiches. Um, name escapes me now. The guy from Chicago that always used to be here, and I haven't seen him in a long, long time. Told her he knows Mark, right? New York and Naples, Italy. I don't know. All the times I've been to New York, I don't go to New York that much, but only once did I've never had New York. Yeah, I did. I take that back. I have New York pizza, and only one time did I ever go to one of those hot dog vendors, on the sidewalk and get a hot dog. I was having some business. I was right downtown. I was in the financial district. I mean, literally, when I say financial district, when you open the door of the building I was working in, it was, you could see the New York Stock Exchange. It was like I could throw a baseball to it. And I just had to have a quick lunch, so I ran to one of those vendors, and it was, I mean, I had lunch for $3. I bought a hot dog and a Coke for like $3 at a cart, one of those push carts. And I'm wondering, boy, talk about coronavirus. Those push carts, I hope that those things are not operational right now during this corona thing. Deep dish pizza isn't pizza, it's casserole. There's New York pizza and imitation New York pizza. What do you need to do, Mark? Go to the Gold Coast area. Lasagnas, pizza in pie form, deep dish. Okay, now how do we get talking about pizza? Who was asking about pizza? What you need to do, Mark, go to the Gold Coast area. I've been there. There are very few places I have not been. I don't know all the places real well, but there's very few places I haven't been. Don't make me. These pretzels are making me thirsty. All right, it's 88 minutes. At 90 minutes, we are going to end this. I have been to Alaska. Yes, I have. I didn't do a video from there, but I have some stills. So, did you guys watch my video when I got lost in Quebec? You got to watch a video. In the next day or two, do me a promise. Hop over to the other channel. I just posted it 2 or 3 days ago, and I got lost in Quebec. It's kind of a funny story, and I got some interesting pictures. I've been to the Gold Coast. I've been there. I've been to Chicago a lot. Chicago's just down the street, so Chicago is a place I've been to a lot. Does it feel like you're in the States? It doesn't feel like I'm in the States. It feels like I'm in Russia. Where they don't let you out of your house. Did you see those pictures where they're like welding people's doors shut in China? I got lost in Canada. Yeah, you got to go up and look at that. It's a great story. It was scary. It was winter, and I didn't speak French, and they didn't speak English, and I ended up when I was in Alaska. No, Alaska was cool. Alaska, I went for a drive. And I drove and drove. It was so beautiful. Every time I turned, the kind of thing, you feel like it's going to end. And it's just more mountains and oceans and moose. And it was beautiful. And finally, I was getting kind of hungry. And it was getting to be like dusk. And I thought, it must be about 7 or 8 o'clock. It was 11:30. Then I had to turn around and drive all the way back. There's one highway, Highway 1. And I was I was in Anchorage. Yeah. So, yep. When I was in Alaska, nothing really of interest that I can think of in Alaska other than it was just a neat place, you know. All right, we are at 90 minutes, everybody, an hour and a half. So I am going to call it a night. Thank you so much for allowing me just to have a few yucks during this time when there's not a lot of laughs in the country and in the world. But hopefully we can continue to find it here. So thanks a lot, everybody. As always, I encourage you to like and share the videos. Leave your comments down below. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And don't forget to click that bell icon so you know when I post new videos. You all be safe as well. Good night.